Have you ever been to a meeting and wondered, why am I here? Daily? Well, effective meetings keep the attention of the people that are there, that involve them in the conversations because those conversations are relevant. That's mindfulness at work in meetings. And this week's present shows are going to focus on how do we create more mindful meetings where people are actively engaged, where they are fully involved, and it's important to them. I'm Ravi Tangri. This is Presence, How to Live and Lead Consciously, and this is my co-host, Holly Duckworth. Hi, Holly.
Hello, Ravi. It's so great to see you. And my background is as a meeting and event planner. In 2016, I was named Meeting Innovator of the Year for my work in this area of mindfulness and meetings. And this is kind of a bleeding edge trend that I know you as meeting planners, you have a lot on your plate, from AV to food to meeting design and creating an experience and getting people there and traffic and weather. And there's a lot that comes together to make a meeting happen. But what I have learned as I've evolved my career a little in the meetings industry is that presence, that mindfulness, that slowing down can almost be more powerful to creating a natural flow in your meetings than the pushing and the forcing that often happens in the Excel spreadsheets and the BEOs of meeting event planning. So I want you to really enjoy and take in this short show and maybe consider a membership to our inner circle, where we're going to be sharing more tips on the power that can come from living and creating conscious and mindful meetings.
Yeah, and I mean, I've run myself a couple of conventions for my professional association, and I've attended many as a speaker. And the common trend is to let's just cram. We've got everyone here. This is the only time this year we've got them, so we got to cram it full of content. And what you don't realize is that people disengage. At a certain point, your brain is full, and you just go, I'm out of here. And so how do you create white space? And it's not even those big meetings, right? Even everyday meetings. There's some questions people don't always ask about meetings. It's like, what's the purpose of the meeting, right? Who needs to be there? What format does it need? And even if you've got a regular weekly or bi-weekly meeting, does the content fit that purpose? And it's to really stop and think about that. And is this the best way? And if people are just going to be there disengaged, or conference calls are another example. I mean, let me name the elephant in the corner. When you have a conference call, no one is actively listening. 90% of the people have the phone on mute and are doing their email or doing other work. So why are you doing that versus sending information out to people if they are not there? Let's name that elephant in the corner. Does it fit the purpose? And if the people are not actively there, then why are you having a meeting?
Yeah, and I think it's important as meeting professionals continue to grow their place in the C-suite that we recognize that mindful meetings are part of an organization's overall culture. So if your culture is go, do, actually a meeting could be a great place to start to introduce these mindfulness principles. And we always love Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule. If time is really of the essence, can you take that 2-day meeting and go 80-20 rule? Commit 80% of that time to dedicated sales training, leadership training, those key whys of the meeting, and then dedicate 20% of that time together to mindfulness practices. That we get to a place where we're rewarding overwork and those people who started at 6 a.m. and work until 2 in the morning, but a meeting becomes a place where we reward those people who are fully present in the moment. And that might happen by providing this 80-20 mix of doing and being within your meeting.
Or even another way of looking at that I'm doing a lot, because I do a lot of things like World Cafe conversations, is we talk with meeting planners about literally removing the last 2 speaking slots, and we focus a 3-hour chunk on how do they apply all they've learned. So, because normally what happens is people go to a meeting, they go back and they're swamped with emails, and everything that came from the meeting just sits on the shelf. But if you invest this time, a couple hours, in having them actually come up with action plans to apply what they've learned, there'll be a whole lot more traction in terms of what hits the ground when they get home. So we need to move into some more tips here. One is that mindful meetings start long before you get on site, right? That sort of planning that I was talking about a little bit as well. What are the objectives? What are the goals? And then you look at formats.
Think about who needs to be there, who doesn't need to be there, and make sure you get the right people around the table. Create processes that engage. We know Ravi and I are both professional speakers. Meeting professionals are approaching us all the time. It's less about a talking head nowadays and about what I call conversation conducting. How can I, as an expert, bring this chunk of knowledge and wisdom to the room, and how can we engage with it as an audience? It's going to be about new meeting formats, that it's not always seating in theater seating, but are you as a meeting planner becoming more mindful about creating seating and environments that engage? And then certainly don't just have break time where people run and check their phones and get all anxious about the things they're missing, but also have a mindfulness check-in, maybe a 1 or 2 minute moment of silence when you come back from a break. I'm not saying don't have a break. I'm saying have a break, but then also add to that break a mindfulness moment that brings people, body, mind, and spirit back into the room. So Ravi, we've given a lot of tips in this short show. We're going to dive even deeper into this topic, creating mindful meetings, in this week's Deep Dive show, which is a part of our Inner Circle membership. So thanks for joining us on the short show. Please consider a membership in the Inner Circle, and we look forward to seeing you on next week's show.
Okay, see you on presentshow.com. Bye-bye.